The objective of this lesson is to find a percent of a quantity as a rate per 100 by using equations. Although we will be using equations, it is important to continue to look for patterns and relationships to solve percent problems. As students are flexible in their use of operations and their properties, they will recognize that different processes have the same end result. In previous lessons, students solved percent problems using grids, ratio tables, equivalent ratios, and racial reasoning. In this lesson, we will use bar models and equations to solve these types of problems. Let's begin with what is 40% of 50. Writing 40% as a ratio in fractional form, the question becomes, what is 40 hundredths of 50? One way to represent this problem is by drawing a bar model. First, draw a long rectangle and partition it into 10 sections. Label each section with the corresponding percentages in increments of 10 from 0% to 100%. Label the bar model with the information from the problem. What is the size of the whole? 50. What percent of the whole needs to be found? 40%. As a reminder, 40 hundredths of 50 is the same as solving 4/10 of 50 because 4/10 is equivalent to 40 hundredths. If 10 units equals 50, then 1 unit is equal to 50 divided by 10, which equals 5. Mark each section as 5. Color in 4 units. Since 4 units are 4 times 5, then 4 units equal 20. This bar model represents that 40% of 50 is 20. Students learned from previous grades that dividing by 10 is the same as multiplying by 1/10, which moves the digits one place to the right on a place value chart. This knowledge is used to determine that 1/10 or 10 hundredths or 10% of 50 equals 5. 40% can also be determined by reasoning. For example, 10% equals 5, so 20% equals 10, 30% equals 15, and 40% equals 20. Let's try another problem using the bar method. Christine has a balance of $1,850 on a credit card. She owes a fee of 18% for using the card. How much is the fee? Draw the bar and partition it into 10 units, showing 0% to 100%. What is the size of the whole? 1,850. What percent of the whole needs to be found? 18%. If 1,850 is divided by 10, there is 185 in each unit. Because we know the first unit between 0% and 10% is 185, let's just look at the unit between 10% and 20% to get the rest of the 18%. Let's get a close-up of where 18% would be. Label in increments of 1 between 10 and 20%. 185 divided into 10 units is 18 and 5/10 in each unit. We need to find 18%, and that means the first 10% plus 8 more units. 8 units times 18 and 5/10 is 148. We'll add the first 10%, which is 185, to the next 8%, 148, which equals 333. So 18% of $1,850 equals $333. Can we solve the same problems by using equations? Yes. In the first problem, we discovered that 40% of 50 is the same as 40 over 100 times 50. They both show 20 as the answer. In this case, the word of means to multiply. Let's look at a ratio written as a fraction by way of a division problem. The fraction bar represents division. So 40 hundredths is the same as 40 divided by 100. When there is a problem such as 40 over 100 times 50, both multiplication and division are used. The multiplication and division can be done in either order and still have the same result. 50 can be multiplied by 40, then divided by 100. 50 times 40 equals 2,000. 2,000 divided by 100 equals 20. Or 50 can be divided by 100, which equals 1/2, and then 1/2 times 40 equals 20. The answer is the same either way. The objective for this lesson was to find a percent of a quantity as a rate per 100 by using equations. We accomplished this by first using bar models to demonstrate the reason why multiplication and division are used in equations to solve percentage problems. Several strategies and equations were used to solve the same problem to prove that the end result would always be the same.